that our rivers were connected to the Mayan 2012 prophetic teachings. And so I reported that in this article that I was writing. Should I shut that?
Yeah, you can.
I reported that in... Okay. I reported that in an article I was writing of debunking the fear of the Mayan calendar, because, you know, there's been a lot of fear about all this, the doomsday stuff, and the fear-mongering. And what I had already learned is that the Mayan calendar is not about the end of the world and doom, although the path human beings are on in the Western world and how we're polluting and working in a consciousness of separation and domination is certainly a destructive path that can naturally lead to that end, with or without any prophetic signals going on. You know, but their primary message was about a concluding of a 26,000-year cycle divided into 5 lesser periods called Mayan long counts of 5,125 years or so each. That signal, it's a cycle where it comes into completion during our lifetimes, where the alignment of the Earth and the Sun and the galaxy all create an alignment that only occurs once every 26,000 years. Our Earth aligns with the dark rift of the Milky Way. And our rivers are a map of that configuration in the Milky Way. Our rivers, with the Allegheny River flowing from north to south, our Monongahela flowing from south to north, our Ohio joining those in the center, and the underground Fourth River being sort of an invisible river, are an exact map on the Earth of this part of the Milky Way in the sky, with its rivers of stars and its starless dark rift. And so I reported on that in this article and ended up having all that be confirmed by the Mayan elders when I did a fundraiser for the 13 grandmothers. Do you know about the 13 indigenous grandmothers? Check them out. Google that. The International Council of 13 Indigenous Grandmothers. One of the grandmothers is Mayan, Grandmother Flor de Mayo. She becomes a catalyst in my story. Actually, it's because of Grandmother Flor de Mayo that my adventure even began. So what already was shaping up then was the Mayan elders came to Pittsburgh for this 13 Grandmothers fundraiser in 2007. We had a big gathering of about 400 people at First United Methodist Church. Some of you were there. And they confirmed that our rivers are connected with the Mayan 2012 prophetic teachings of oneness. You can find the exact statement of revelations and prophecies that Don Alejandro brought. Don Alejandro is probably the world's leading spokesperson for all the Maya. He's the grand elder of the Mayan Council of Elders. He's a 13th generation Mayan high priest and the official prophecy keeper and day keeper of the Mayan calendar for the Mayan people. So he came to Pittsburgh and said, yes, our prophecies talk about, you know, in the heavens above there are the 3 stars. On the petroglyphs we see the 3 humans holding hands, and in the earth we see the 3 rivers, showing their promised return to oneness. And so not a lot of people realize that about Pittsburgh. It's kind of hard getting this sort of information out for some reason. I don't know why. The media here didn't want to pick it up. The Post-Gazette and the Trip Review came and interviewed and put nothing in the media. I guess maybe that's not too surprising. You all understand about esoteric information and how hard it can be for people to wrap their heads around it. So fast forward now, we're at the time where we're counting down to the end of this Mayan calendar in 40 days, something like that, very, very soon. And it's so interesting, Andy, you used the word revelations when you were describing about the Course in Miracles. There's some revelations, you know, there that were held out. And I think what's happening is more of what we need to know is being revealed. And what happened in my story is really revelations of glimpses into this new earth of oneness post-2012. How do we get there? When you look at what's happening on the planet right now, it doesn't look real good yet. It doesn't really look like we're in this oneness, especially coming through the elections. The whole energy of hate, blame, divisiveness, polarization. If you look at that on the one hand and you look, well, here comes the ending of this December 21st, 2012 Mayan calendar that's supposed to shift us into a higher consciousness of oneness. We don't have much time to go. How are we going to get there? Have any of you been wondering that? When you look at things, it just doesn't look real hopeful when you look at the prevailing picture of things and how the media portrays it. Fortunately, there's a whole lot going on under the radar. And when I say under the radar, I mean stuff that doesn't make the nightly news. But it's very profound that's going on. And so that's what's going on here, in many ways with many of your experiences and in my story. So my story really takes us into a landscape of this post-2012 New Earth. And it's a story, when I was asked to come talk about this, I thought, I want to talk about what to expect about the closing of this Mayan calendar cycle. I want to talk about it from my lived experience, because this story talks about, is a story of revelations about this post-2012 era. And, I'm going to say it out loud to you all because I know you'll understand about our creating together this golden era of peace. Some people, if I say it like that to them, they, just don't quite get that this could be possible. Do you want to ask a question?
Well, yeah, I have a question. When you're talking about oneness, what exactly are you talking about?
So oneness in my experience is a consciousness of interconnection that is heart-based. It doesn't actually happen too well when we're in ego and when we're in a place of an analytical thinking mind, although there's always a place for that because we need the right brain and the left brain to be operating in a whole brain phenomena, but we've left out the right brain and the heart. And so what's these experiences, and I can go into some of them, really are an experience of living from a place of dropping into our hearts, really feeling this sense of interconnection with all life, and getting that there is a consciousness, a living, loving consciousness that is coming through all of creation. It's coming through Gaia, Mother Earth, and through nature and the natural world, where over and over again we were shown that all levels of consciousness are aware and participating in this great shift of the ages with us, and inviting humans to be part of this process, stepping up to the plate more fully, but stepping up to the plate in a place of heart. And when I talk about oneness, the access for that is dropping into a place of slowing down, being in the heart with an open listening, and a way of looking and seeing the subtle things that show up, that communicate with us through synchronicities and through phenomena with the animals. For us, it was often with the animals, with insects like grasshoppers and spiders, with cloud language and cloud phenomena, with actual nature spirits. And I was in this process of this amazing adventure. Part of what was happening is that I was given songs from the sacred white buffalo, from the nature spirits, from the cosmic serpent, songs that all describe what it's like to live in this new earth.